What's up, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. All right, well, it's time for the weekly outlook on Bitcoin. So we'll take a look at the weekly close and see what's ahead for Bitcoin in this week. All right, let's dive into it.
Trade Genius.
All right, guys, before we dive into the video, I just wanted to remind you guys we do have the CBOE expiration. That's going to be this yellow line here, and that's going to come up on Wednesday. And we'll talk about that a little bit more on Wednesday. I want to show you guys kind of some things I've been observing when it comes to that particular option or futures expiration, I should say. So check that out on Wednesday. Also, guys, if you're interested in joining us in the room, head over to tradelikeagenius.com. Got a bit of a discount going on right now till tomorrow night. We just wrapped up a nice little trade on XLM BTC. Caught this moneymaker buy signal and was able to ride that up. So if you're interested in that, binary options, stocks, and ETFs, head on over there and you can see a package and look forward to seeing you guys in that room. All right, let's take a look at the weekly Bitcoin chart. Okay, guys, real quick on the weekly chart. So what's now kind of started to shape up is a bearish pennant. And this was looking, the weekly chart or weekly bar closed here at 35.14. Not looking good, closed above these prior lows. And, basically things were looking decent here with this big bar up. We had caught a pullback and then this move up. We caught that a few times in the room. This bar falling out of bed here basically was really, really bearish. This first day of the week candle here is actually looking pretty decent though. Basically what we'd like to see if you're bullish is I'd like to see this week end with a close that's higher than this highest low here, which currently is 36.25. So I'd be looking for a weekly close at least above that. I think that would be important as far as the price action goes. Otherwise, if we're going to not get a bullish close for the week, and that's entirely possible, what would be pretty bearish is if we got past this zone here. If we broke below this area here, which we'll see on the daily chart, but basically if we broke below this closing below 3,400 is going to be pretty bearish. Actually, 3,350, a close below that would not bode very well and would get us back below these wicks here. And then we'll probably be looking at the very least, a retest of the weekly 200-day moving average is currently 3260, or a double bottom test at the low of 3128. Okay, so but weekly, again, looking for a close above 36.25 to show us if there's any strength in this pennant that's forming, and obviously the upside to the pennant would be somewhere in the vicinity of 4,000 currently. All right, let's look at the daily time frame. All right, guys, daily time frame. Yes, we've bounced off and we're clearing above these previous highs. The close here for the day isn't done yet. We got a couple hours or hour and a half or so left to go on this daily close. We'll see where that closes. Ideally, we would have gotten a close above this daily high of 36.99, but we actually broke above that and then are closing back below. That's also known as a swing failure pattern, and so some people would be looking at this as a short with their stop above this high currently that we've put in at 37.11. On the downside, we'll take a look at that on the 4-hour chart. Above here, though, your resistance levels are going to be 37.70, and then another one at 38.84, or around that 3900 level. This area here, which we had highlighted, just couldn't break through, will also be an area where you're gonna have so you got a bunch of resistance coming on the way up. So it's going to be, if the bulls are really going to try and get to the other side of this this pennant, it's going to take quite a bit of buying and volume to do so, I think. So I think you're going to see shorters attempting these levels. So that's why it's not as clear cut on a swing trade, here straight to this upper part of this pennant that seems to be forming. That's not. I don't think that's going to be a straight shot. I think there's going to be a lot of technical levels that's going to have to be fought through. So just keep that in mind this week. All right. The 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. let's do this. Well, let's just go ahead with this one. So the problem with the like on the 4-hour chart is you've seen a lot of price action where okay, 4-hour chart. So you know, it's just been kind of like BART City. We had a move up, consolidate, thrust down, another thrust down, couple, you know, big moves in a row, consolidate, thrust down. Although this one was not as bad volume wise or as size wise as these two, came back into these levels. Notice the levels here, yeah. We had an area of congestion here, and that came right down into that level. So we've got buyers here at this 3,500 level that are defending that. I think here, you know, you have a support and resistance line at 3570. And so I think you might see some buyers pull back. Also, you know, Monday's range, the middle of Monday's range, and Monday's ranges are somewhat important in Bitcoin. The middle of that range is going to be right around the 3,600 mark. So we could see a pullback to 3,600 and then maybe another attempt at a bounce. But keep in mind that, you know, depending on your time frame, we're going to see, you know, we've got quite a bit of resistance on the way up here. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes as far as the upside goes. But I do think there's going to be some buyers now that are going to buy into this. The caveat here, though, guys, is if we start to chop like we saw here, all right, if we see this action here again, you need to be careful. And what's been happening is they've been consolidating it. You get a little bit of some false breakouts. So if you see a couple false breakouts, like you know, you see some wicks here, at that point, you can actually put in some stop orders and either buy the stop. You can buy a stop and catch it, or sell a stop and catch on downside. And that's kind of how you would play these ranges that have been happening. So, but you're better off letting them play out, letting some time develop. There wasn't a lot of time on this last one, but letting them develop and then putting in a buy or sell stop order and catching the move out, because it's just kind of been what's happening the last couple of weeks. So that's on a 4-hour outlook there. So again, I think daily wise, this is fairly bullish daily candle, and I think there's an opportunity for a pullback, and then see if if the balance has any legs to it. Otherwise, the downside would be breaking this line here. The prior daily close of 35.14, I think, is going to be, you're going to probably see an immediate drop and reaction down to this 3,400 area that I have highlighted here. I do think that you'll see a reaction off of that. Okay, that'll kind of screw up this pennant structure a bit, or it may just be a matter of this is a little early to be drawing this lower one and we redraw it lower. But as with this whole area, this whole range, we've been talking about where we're going to be dancing, stemming from this area back here in September, right? So doesn't surprise me that we're consolidating a bit through here, and we'll continue to do so, I think, as we work through these levels. Is this the bottom? A lot of people are asking if this is the bottom. A lot of people are expecting sub 3K. The herd's usually wrong. Not that it's out of the question. I mean, we do have some fib targets here, and obviously breaking below the 200 weekly moving average would probably light that up. But then again, if we do see a decent buying price action come in, I think we'd actually look to this upper trend line, which kind of is off of everybody's radar at the moment because we're down here. But in reality, timing wise, you're always going to usually go back to a down trend line at some point. So we could see that happen over the course of the next few weeks, hitting back up to this trend line. Currently, it's sitting at about 5,200. So anyway, that's our weekly outlook, guys. I think we'll see if this little up move has some legs. That would be contingent on support being bought out of this breakout that we saw, and hitting back to these levels here around the 3,600 level. See if that area gets bought and move up. And if it does, I think we can start looking at these higher areas of 3,770 and 3,900 on the upside. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. Again, if you're interested in joining us in the room, head over to tradelikeagenius.com. Take care. Bye.
Trade Genius.